Hi again, everyone. Rich Siegel back with you. Leslie McMurray and Roman Jimenez will join me as we go through this game. This is a D Masters game. And as we join you here, we have a game going on. You say that we are broadcasting the Phoenix Vintage and the Master Blasters. Phoenix is the visiting team for this game, and here's a ground ball into left field by number 13, and that's a base hit. We're getting the scoreboard or our scorecards taken care of. Roman is doing yeoman work on trying to get that to me as quickly as can, because as these games develop here for the rest of the day, it's very quick. You get your coaches and umpires meeting early on, and then you're scrambling in the first couple of innings to get your book up to date. So we can only tell you what we see and hope that that will be enough. We have runners at first and second for the Vintage.
And because of the elimination games, we don't know who the next teams are going to be until after that game is played.
Naga's doing a good job of getting that information to us and as they can, and we appreciate the effort that they are putting forth in order to help us deliver these games to you. Here's a fly ball foul down the right side and went over the fence, so no play. This is Ochoa. He wears number 54. And again, runners at first and second. There are no runs in this inning, and the next pitch is deemed illegal.
I got to about 3.5, 4 feet off the ground, I believe.
Yeah, you needed to be a pygmy in order to swing at that. 2-2 the count to Ochoa, and that pitch hits the plate. It's ball 3, 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a 60-minute time limit, 7 innings, whichever comes first. Our game that we just did between the Austin Dragons. There's a base hit into right center field. Here comes a man home, and he will score the first run of the game. That's Branham, number 31. He scores the opening run in this contest. And that will bring up for the Vintage number 77. This is Spires. Has a foot on either side of the batter's box, and the first pitch to him is grounded into right field for a base hit. This should plate another run. He is being waved around or pointed to home plate, and the run scores. That's Naveau. And it's 2-0 for Phoenix.
They're coming right out, swinging the bat.
I love their uniforms. You can read the number, you can read the name. And I think the name is actually the name of the player instead of some nickname. 17 hits one right back to the pitcher that looks like Hawken, and that is the end of the top of the first. I have 2 runs, and the umpire is verifying that with the dugouts. 2-run score in the top of the first. The Master Blasters will have their first plate appearance coming up here on the Cloud Sports Network. Our score, Phoenix Vintage 2, and the Master Blasters coming to bat.
The 2022 Gay Softball World Series is once again proud to partner with Molson Coors with Miller Lite and its parent company, Molson Coors, for the 18th year in a row. Molson Coors has received a perfect score from the Human Rights Campaign's Equality Index and has been a vocal opponent of anti-LGBTQ legislation across the U.S. and Canada. They believe diversity, equity, and inclusion is everyone's responsibility. At Miller Lite, they believe a light beer shouldn't be watered down, and neither should its support be for our community.
So grateful to those people, and we will hear from a representative from Molson later on today. Here, the Master Blasters will come to bat here in the bottom of the first. I will tell you in full transparency that we were not given player positions on the lineup sheets. They have to scramble to get these lineup sheets done after they get one game done and only have time to move from one field to another. They have barely enough time to get the name and the number in, so we don't have positions, and so we'll do the best that we can for that. So here is the first at-bat for the Master Blasters. Here's a pop-up into shallow left center field, and the catch is made by the left center fielder. Robert Baxter, the batter. He lines one up into center field for a base hit.
Well struck.
David Rodder will bat next. We're going to do some camera maintenance while our game is going on so we can get you the best possible shot. There's a long fly ball into deep left field. The left fielder fell down, and this will go all the way to the fence. Baxter comes around third. Rodder comes around third. It will be an in-the-park two-run home run for David Rodder.
If you're going to hit a home run in this division, that's the way it needs to happen.
That's right. You cannot hit a ball over the fence. You can, but you're not supposed to, and if you do, it's an inning out. Paul Bland will be the next batter. And the first pitch to Paul Bland. Inside. Ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3. That pitch is a strike. Call. 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you're new to this sport, or even if you're not, they start with a 1-1 count. Here's Bland hitting one off the pitcher's glove to the shortstop, but there'll be no play.
He's pushing the limit of that 12-foot arc as well. Just scraping the ceiling.
Here is David Grounds. He wears number 00. And the first pitch is a strike call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the next one. It's Diet, right? That pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that swung on and hit into left center field sharply for a base hit.
Well placed, going station to station.
There are 2 master levels, a Masters C and a Masters D. This is a Masters D game. You have to be at least 50 years old or hit your 50th birthday in the year that you want to play. So, for example, if I were 49 and I was going to be 50 in this year, I would still be eligible for the Masters division.
I almost remember when I was 49.
Yeah, me too. Steve Darby, the batter. And he takes a strike home.
Grandpa, the name on the back of his jersey.
That's old.
Elder statesman.
All right, Darby swings and hits one high into left center field. Coming over to make the catch is the left center fielder for the out. No tag. Runners will hold at first and second.
Good strong throw. Made him reconsider the idea of moving over.
So another fly ball out to the left center fielder will bring up Sonny Martinez, number 31. First pitch. Ball inside. 2 balls and a strike. Hit the plate or just in front of the plate. Ball 3.
Do we know what city the Blasters represent?
I'm going to try to find that out. The next one is a strike called. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And there's a fly ball hit into shallow left field. Coming on is the left fielder, and going out is the shortstop, and the ball falls between them. Paul Bland will score. It is now 3-2 on a Texas League single by Sonny Martinez. Will bring up Ellison Park. Cork swings at the first pitch and fouls it off to the right side out of play. So Leslie is back, and Leslie will tell us. There's a seeing eye base hit into right field. They will play station to station. Browns will hold third, Martinez at second, and Cork at first with a single. So since you were good enough to go find out what city they're from, you found out that they are from
the city of Dallas, Texas. Perhaps you're familiar with it.
The Dallas Master Blasters. There's a line drive or hit off the third baseman's glove. Browns will score. The ball caroms into left field. The 4th run in the inning. It's now 4-2 for the Dallas Master Blasters. On the play, Sonny Martinez stopped at third. Ellison Park at second. And that was Denny Radine making it to first. Will bring up Charlie Burrow. I will say, both of these teams have really great uniforms. The names are easy to read. The numbers easy to identify.
And they're stylish.
And there's a line drive in the left center field for a base hit. Martinez scores, and again they play station to station. Pork holds third. Radine holds second. And Charlie Burrow at first. They have batted around this inning. There'll be a courtesy runner. And that'll bring up Steve. First pitch to him is a ball.
I think of the D Masters, the criteria is you must have had at least one knee surgery.
There's a line drive in the left center field for a base hit. Cork will score. Radine will score. 2 more runs.
Dallas putting up a 7 spot thus far. It's a nice answer to the 2-run first inning from Phoenix.
2 RBIs. Runners at first and second. Here's Baxter. He takes the ball. Here's the next delivery. There's a pop-up behind the plate and caught and then bobbled by Reed Kelly. So life now for Robert Baxter.
Let him off the hook.
It would have been a fantastic play as he was coming back towards the fence. Here's the next one. He fouls it at the plate. So he now has 2 fouls, which means that if he fouls another pitch off, it is an inning-ending, well, it's an out, and it would end the inning because we have 2 out here in the bottom of the first. But 1 courtesy foul is allowed per batter at bat. There's a pop-up on the infield. Second baseman calls for it, and he makes the catch, and that will end the inning, but not before 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 7. What do you have? 7.
I have 7. Let's go with that.
At the end of 1 inning, our score is the Dallas Master Blasters 7 and the Phoenix Vintage 2 here on the Cloud Sports Network.
Gen 5 Fertility is a world-renowned family building clinic in Southern California, and they know that not all families have to look alike to be amazing. At Gen 5 Fertility, queer families aren't just welcomed, they're celebrated. When you're ready to build your family in a safe, private, and secure environment, Dr. Samuel Wood and his team at Gen 5 is ready to work for you. Dr. Wood is a board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, and his team at Gen 5 Fertility have been working with our community for more than 20 years. So if you're in a part of the country where you don't feel completely secure building your family and you worry about privacy, know this. I know Dr. Wood. I know his team. I've worked with them. Trust me, they are the best of the best and have the highest success rates in the field. Put Dr. Wood and his team to work for you. Go to gen5fertility.com today and click on the Pride tab to learn more.
Lead off in the second inning, and he hits one just beyond the reach of the second baseman and on into right center field for a leadoff single.
Those little seeing eye singles that squirted through the infield. And Phoenix back in business.
Here's Kozla. And the first pitch to him, a little bit high, but he goes after it and hits one into left field for a base hit. So the first two get on. This may wind up being a 18-14 game.
It's score fest.
Here's
What's
Dana Reed
over-under?
Kelly. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Reed Kelly takes the ball. Two on, nobody out here in the top of the second of a 7-2 ball game in which the Dallas Master Blasters are leading the Phoenix Vintage. Phoenix has those two runners on, trying to claw their way back in this game early on. Here's a pitch that is high, and now the bases are loaded.
Nobody out.
And that's right, nobody out. Kelly Danforth at third, Kozla at second, Reed Kelly at first, and that'll bring up the top of the order Mike Nuvo. And the first pitch to him. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The next one is ball 3.
Something's got to give.
He has nowhere to put him. A walk will force in a run and keep the bases loaded.
Giving a little pep talk to the pitcher.
Yes, Danny Radine out to talk to his pitcher. The pitcher is Charlie Burrow, number 17, so we can identify the battery. Burrow, the pitcher, and Radine, the catcher. As we mentioned earlier, and it just bears repeating, lineup sheets have to be done real quick as they want to keep the games going. And as a result, sometimes we will not get player positions. What we can tell you, though, is that another ball has been pitched, and it was ball 4. Danforth will score. Kozla goes to third, and Reed Kelly to second as Mike Nuvo takes his position at first base and will bring up Brian Bartlett.
So now it's a 7-3 ball game. Bases still loaded, nobody out.
That's right, and now we have a runner. This is number 10. I don't have him on my score sheet. I apologize that I can't identify him. But he is running at second base for Dana Reed Kelly. And the first pitch is low for a ball. Smart to take. If he's not finding the strike zone, you wait until he does before you swing. The 2-1. Swung on and hit past the third baseman's dive and on into left field for a hit. Kozla scores. Reed Knight will score. 3 runs have scored in the inning, and it's now 7-5 for Dallas.
Yeah, I think you were Kreskin there, suggesting a high-scoring game.
They're always so entertaining too.
Yep.
You know, as long as these games are won by hitting, walks notwithstanding, if you at least get a game where there are very few errors, then it has been an entertaining game.
Yeah.
And so far, no errors that we know of. There's a fly ball foul to the left side. The batter is Len Branham.
That one's headed to downtown Waxahachie, I think. It was headed for the parking lot last time I saw it.
There's the next pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball. One hop to the third baseman. Tags the third baseman. Throws it away out into right field. He had a play at second base, but he overthrew the position. Here comes a man to third. He will hold. That's Bartlett, and Branham takes second.
It was a nice defensive play in corralling the ball. Tagged the runner coming to third. Tried to double him up at second, but a little too enthusiastic on the throw, ending up in right field, putting runners at second and third, 1 out.
And I just said, too, you just don't want to see any mistakes. So what we have is 3 runs in the inning. There was an out as the third baseman tagged Nubo coming over from second. Bartlett then on the overthrow went from second to third, and Branham went for first to second to bring up Pat Money. And the next pitch to Pat is high, hit the plate.
Still at a premium.
3 balls and a strike. I want to make sure that pitch is worth swinging at before you commit. And the next one, that's one worth swinging at, but it's a strike called. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Might as well take one.
And the full count pitch is out. Oh, strike 3 called!
Wow.
It painted the outside corner.
He is not happy about that, but going to head back to the bench, having looked at strike 3.
Alex Ochoa, the batter. So Pat Mooney is called out on strikes. That's the second out of the inning. Runner still at second and third for Alex Ochoa, who can cut into the lead. Actually, could tie the game. And there's a fly ball hit out into shallow right field, giving chase, and the ball drops fair. Runners held up for some reason because, you know, it's 2 out, you're running.
Yeah.
Brian Bartlett does score, and that is the 4th run in the inning. It's now 7-6, and on the play, Len Branham went to third.
Yeah, no sense spectating there. It's off to the races as soon as that ball is hit.
David Spears, the batter, or Spires. And the first pitch to him is a ball outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Now, some teams have base coaches that are more involved. Sometimes you need to help those runners out. Remind them how many outs.
That was my main role with the team that I was with, the Austin Bat Boys, for 5 seasons. I love coaching third base, you know, and then I continued that through all the teams that I was with. You cannot underestimate the value of good coaching. There's the strike called.
No, definitely. And if you know the speed of your players on your team, you can be much more effective as that third base coach, and you score runs.
There's a swing and a grounder to short on 2 true hops. The force is made at second base. Ochoa is forced, and the inning is over. However, 4 runs do score for the Phoenix Vintage. We go to the bottom of the 2nd, and our new score, the Dallas Master Blasters 7 and the Phoenix Vintage 6, here on the Cloud Sports Network.
I just wish we had.
Please don't do that. A light beer with this much flavor should be savored. Who knows what goes in these?
Ping pong balls.
Do you want to drink ping pong balls? No, you don't.
Blue Moon Light Sky. Savor every sip.
Bottom of the 2nd inning. It is 7-6 for the team coming to bat. David Rotter will be the leadoff batter.
Umpire having to fix the scoreboard, added the run scored to the wrong team. Should be 7-6 in favor of Dallas. Yeah, they've got it correct now. Umpires have to multitask.
Rotter reached, actually, he hit that home run, that in the park home run in the first inning, and he lifts one foul to the left side. Roman, I'm going to hand this to you. This is the lineup for the team that we have in our next game. It's another Knoxville game on the Knoxville Cloud Sports Network.
Yeah.
And they are playing. Here's a line drive into right center field for a base hit. Leadoff batter on. And they are playing, by the way, Roman, they are playing the Pizza Rats. Again, so it's a rematch.
Oh, nice.
We're at field number 6 If you're in the Dallas area, come say hello. Let us know, Facebook, who you're rooting for today in this game. Are you rooting for the Dallas team, the Master Blasters, or are you rooting for the Phoenix Vintage? Paul Bland, the batter. And there is a ball.
The score was 7-6.
Here's the next one. That's the strike called. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first and nobody out. And there's a pop foul behind the plate that lands right at the base of the fence. And the count will remain 2-2. That is his courtesy foul. And Paul Bland swings and hits another one foul. And he's out. David Grounds will be the batter. He reached on a single. He scored a run. He scored his team's 4th run in the first inning, part of that 7-run beginning. And he takes a pitch, a strike call. The next one is swung on and hit in the air to left field, shallow left field, and the catch is made, out number 2. To the plate, Steve Darby, Grandpa. He flied out to left center field in his first at bat, and he bats with 2 outs and a runner at first base. And the first pitch to him, I heard it hit the plate, so that's ball 2. High arc, ball 3, a little too deep. 3 balls and a strike. Taking all the way and taking strike 2 called. David Rotter is at first base. He led off the inning with a single, and he is still there 2 batters later.
Veteran on veteran here, each one controlling the pace of the at-bat.
And here is that next pitch. 3-2, and swung on and hit to deep left field. That ball's got some carry, and it's a foul ball. So the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're starting to see a lot more thicker cirrus cloud cover here over the field. But it's still the brightest day I think we've had all week. Here's the next one. That swung on, hit off the pitcher's glove to the second baseman. He has no play. It'll be an infield single for Grandpa. Steve Darby will bring up Sonny Martinez. He singled and he scored in his first at-bat. Also knocked in a run, and he takes a pitch illegal, ball 1, ball 2. Martinez takes, out inside, ball 3. And the 3-1 is a strike called. The count is full of 3-2 with 2 out. Single for Rotter, foul strikeout, fly ball and another single, and that pitch is outside, and the bases are loaded. Rotter to third, Darby to second. On to first is Martinez. Ellison Pork the batter. He singled. He scored in his first at-bat. And the first pitch is inside. There's a foul behind the plate.
Sunshade time.
Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pork swings and pops one in the shallow right field. Second baseman coming out. Over his head, it falls for a hit. Rotter scores. Darby scores. On his way to third, Martinez. It's a 2-run single for Ellison Pork, and it is now 9-6 for Dallas. Here is Danny Radine. Takes the pitch inside. Radine singled, and he scored in the first inning. Ray Dean takes a strike called. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next offering, swung on and lined past the third baseman into left field for a base hit. Sonny Martinez scores. Ellison Park will hold second. That's the 3rd run that's come in the inning. And that now makes the score 10-6. We have a runner, looks like, perhaps.
Waving a runner down like he's trying to park an airplane there.
Maybe, maybe not.
There he goes.
Whoever it is, it's number 88. He will come in to run for Ellison Pork. Danny Ray Dean at first. The pitcher, Charlie Burrow, is the batter. He singled in his first at-bat, and he drove in a run. Three runs have scored in this inning. Most of the damage done after 2 out. And there's more damage as a line drive goes into right center field for a base hit. The pinch runner, number 88, comes around to score the 4th run in the inning. For Dallas, it is now 11-6. Top of the order now for Dallas. Here's Steven. He can add to the lead. He swings and lifts one foul to the right side. Ball retrieved by a fan. He thought about going over the fence to put it back into the field, but thought better of it. Didn't think that he could make it, so tossed it into the dugout. Low stance for this batter, who swings and lifts one in the air to right center field, going back on the ball and making the one-handed catch, and that will end the inning. However, there were 4 runs that scored for the Dallas Master Blasters here in the bottom of the 2nd. And as we move to the top of the 3rd, our new score here on the Cloud Sports Network, the Dallas Master Blasters 11 and the Phoenix Vintage 6.
This gives us an opportunity to introduce Naga Athletic Director Mark Sakalaris. You just told me this, and I messed it up already. Sakalaris.
Not a problem.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. You guys have been busy out here this week.
Just a little. Just a little. You know what? We love doing it.
Now, specifically, your role in the organization as the athletic director is to kind of make sure that all the trains are leaving the station on time, make sure that there's a schedule for the games, and immense other responsibilities. But that's sort of the day-to-day.
Yeah, basically, it's anything that has to do with the play of softball on the fields. That's what we do. And like you said, that's your scheduling, basically making sure there's softballs, making sure there's umpires, all of that.
And with the rain that you've had kind of later in the week and the different field conditions, kind of adjusting that has kind of on the fly has been kind of a partnership between you and the umpiring crew, as well as all of the folks responsible for notifications and everything, which has worked pretty well.
We have been very fortunate that we've got a team of people that work so tremendously well together, and we've been very flexible and adjusted to the elements that they've been provided to us. Rewriting schedules and switching our format of games and how we're playing. We were up until 5 in the morning rewriting schedules for play at 7:50 on the same day.
Right. Yeah. And I think that one of the things that there's always room for improvement in the various different systems and processes, but one of the things that has been remarkable to me has been how flexible, for the most part, a lot of the participants and their coaches have been, just sort of recognizing that this is kind of what happens.
We've heard a lot of comments, and we hear a lot of people coming up to us and saying thank you, and that means a lot to us. It really does. There's the negative, we see that as well, but it is greatly outweighed by those who appreciate what's going on, and they realize how much hard work actually goes into it.
And just to kind of remind everybody, the job that the host committee has done here in Dallas, Ryan and his team.
The work that's been going on by the host committee for years now to make this event happen has been amazing. The people of Dallas have been extremely welcoming. The host committee staff has always been great to work with. And as an example, the complex that we're at today here in Waxahachie, the staff here at this complex.
Oh, they've been amazing.
The one thing James had told me, the guy who runs the complex here, he goes, Mark, I'm going to try my best to never use the word no. If you need something, I'm going to make it happen. And they have. They bent over backwards to provide us with a world-class facility here.
And is that kind of one of the reasons that that those folks who might be Dallas World Series veterans may be surprised that we're not at a different complex today, just because of the quality of these fields and the availability of the staff?
Oh, definitely. There's absolutely no question. This is, in my opinion, this would be the gem of complexes in the Dallas area.
Now, with the work that comes in later on, we're gonna chat with Mr. Fedio of Minneapolis and talk about how as soon as this is over, you get started all over again. Second verse, same as the first.
Yeah, well, exactly, and actually, we're planning 2 years out.
Right.
I've already been meeting with Greg and flown up, and we've done site visits. We're looking at fields, and Greg and his team. I look forward to working with them because I know it's going to be a different experience, but it's going to be just as exciting and just as dynamic as this one.
And then 2024 is already kind of identified, and partially because of some COVID stuff and the process of bidding and how kind of all of that had to happen. But you now have the opportunity to know where you're going to be this year, next year, and in Las Vegas in 2024.
Correct. And once again, in Las Vegas is going to be a totally different experience, well, because it's Las Vegas.
Right.
And it's built-in entertainment. It's built-in everything. And it's going to have its challenges, just like every place has its challenges. But I look forward to tackling that as well. And we're really... The planning is already going, and we're really jumping into that full.
And we have been impressed by the quality of softball. Have you had a minute to just kind of check out some of the games?
I have not had a chance to watch a lot of softball this week.
Right, yeah.
Today I'm watching more than I have all week, but I am truly impressed with the level of skill. And I think the thing that really I'm most impressed by is the level of excitement. Because yesterday at the fields, just the pure energy that was at the fields, and it's carried over to today as well.
I mean, we've got a couple of. I'm just looking around here. We've got about I'd say 100 or so people just watching, and then this will fill in as we get closer to the championship game. When we got a A division or a B division championship next at 12:10, and then an A division championship at 1:15, and then the if games for those divisions, if there are, will follow sort of in that same order. But then we'll expect that this whole sort of infield area will be just crowded with people.
And also, it's going to be at all 6 fields at the same time, like
right,
that.
Yeah.
And I just love this atmosphere. I love the people. It's just really a great time.
One of the sort of great parts about this is we see a ground ball right back to the pitcher. One of the great parts about this is the experience of the World Series for the first time for some folks. And I know that this year there are quite a lot of new first-time participants, one of whom is a great friend of mine. Funny story, he came and helped us at the Cloud Sports Network at the Sin City tournament. He was one of our helpers. And at the end of the tournament, he comes up to me and he says, "So, do you know a lot of people in softball?" to me. And I said, "I might know a couple." And he says, "Can you get me on a team?" And he lived in the LA area. And I'm like, I can probably do that, yeah. And so we got him hooked up with a team who won their division and came to the World Series. And he's just, every time, he's like, "Oh my God, can you believe it? We're here at the World Series."
That is one of the things that is dearest to my heart. And with all the challenges that we've had this week, the number one thing I keep thinking to myself is we have to get games in. And we have to make this the experience, yes, for everybody, but for those first-time players, this is the impression we get to make one time. And that's all. And we want them to come back and back. It's so much about community, and that's what this is. This is community for all of us.
Well, thanks for stopping by and visiting, Mark. Any shout outs you want to give? We had JJ here last night, and he talked about the work that the whole Naga board does. But any other shout outs you want to do, folks that you work real closely with?
You know, I can't say enough.
To our umpires, maybe.
There's a lot of great umpires, but the Naga board, John and Ron and Sam and Tanya and Nate and Dennis. These are all some people that dedicate themselves in a way that's never seen. Give of themselves tirelessly and put on this event and others. Can't say enough for the hard work they do.
All volunteer board.
Yes.
All volunteer host committee board. all volunteers working to make this event work. But do talk a little bit about your UIC while you're here, before you go.
David Wade from Portland is an amazing person. He has rallied 80-some umpires to be here for this tournament this year, and they're from everywhere. They're from all walks of life. We did rely a little bit on the local Dallas community for a good portion of our umpires, but David has worked tirelessly, and with his connections for USA Softball, has really brought us some quality officiating for the World Series this year.
I know that one person who is really glad to hear that is kind of watching from up in the sky, Carla Cash, who would be here if she could be here, and of course she passed away earlier this year, but she would have definitely have been a presence that would have loomed large here this week.
Carla was somebody that I knew for years. She is dearly missed, and yes, she would have reveled in this. This would have been her heyday, and she's watching. She knows what's going on.
I wouldn't have minded seeing Carla Cash behind the plate for a 30-minute one pitch. I bet she'd keep those games running like a top, man.
Yeah, you would have had people moving pretty quick with Carla out there.
Well, thanks so much again, Mark. We appreciate it. We're going to turn it back over to Rich, who's been keeping track of this very exciting game to kind of keep you up to date.
In the top of the third, Phoenix had 4 at-bats. A fly ball to right center by Gary Hokum, a ground ball to short by Kelly Danforth, a single for Kozla, and then he was erased at second base on a fielder's choice by Reed Knight. Now we are in the bottom of the third, and the batting has gone this way. A ground out to the pitcher for Baxter, a single and a run scored by David Rotter, a line out to second base by Paul Bland, another single and another run scored by Dave Grounds, and then a single by Stephen Darby, and he is at second base as he took second, so we'll give him a double. And the batter is Sonny Martinez, who is 2 for 2.
Are you looking for this?
There's the strike. By the way, we have inside of it looks like 15 minutes to go in this game, and we are in the bottom of the third. There's a swing and a line drive into left field. Left fielder cuts it off before it goes to fence, but then he stumbles, and now he recovers his footing, but not enough to allow a run to score. Steve Darby did score. That's the third run in the inning. And on the play, Martinez took second. We'll give him a double because you can't fault the outfielder for stumbling. That outfield may still be a little bit wet, or it may have divots. We'll bring up Ellison Pork, and he takes the pitch for a ball. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, a couple of RBIs. Pitch outside. The next game that we have here will be a C Division game and a matchup of our first game yesterday. Ellison Pork takes a walk, so he's on for the third time. The New York Pizza Rats against the Knoxville Cyclones. This is a C game that we'll have coming up next.
We've seen a lot of Knoxville. I think we've seen 2 games at least of theirs, not more.
There's a swing and a ground ball and a short left field for a base hit. Sonny Martinez comes around third, and he will score the 4th run in the inning. And that makes it 15-6. Inside of 14 minutes to go, the batter is going to be showing to be number 15. The batter is 06. So this is a pinch hitter, and we did not get any of the substitutes' numbers and names. So I can only tell you it's 06. He swings and misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ellison Pork is at second, and that looks like Danny Radine at first with 2 out here in the bottom of the third. And now we come inside of 13 minutes to play.
And Dallas in control.
And a pop-up on the infield. The ball drops. Now they're going to let it roll, and they pick it up. They throw to first, and the batter is safe.
An 11-foot single.
It was a weekly hit pop-up, but it looks like a line drive in the scorebook.
It does. It looked like they were trying to think maybe it'll roll foul, which would have been a strikeout, but it's hung in there.
There'll be a courtesy runner. Number 29 is now running at first base. So 3 on with 2 out and 4 runs in the inning. And the first pitch to Steve. Swung on and a weakly hit ground ball on the infield. That's going to get a run home. There's not going to be a play on anybody. Ellison Pork scores the 5th run in the inning. Danny Radine to second, the courtesy runner, or to third rather, the courtesy runner to second, and Steven on with, that is an infield single. Nobody made a play on the ball.
No, it's just one of those odd balls which just hit slowly and.
Robert Baxter started this inning by hitting a ground ball back to the pitcher. Here's a line drive into center field. That ball is going to get down for a hit, and that's got some roll on it all the way to the fence. 1 run in, 2 runs in, 3rd man in, and Baxter holds up at third with a 3-run triple. The courtesy runner who is wearing number 19 scored. The courtesy runner who is wearing number 12 scored. Stevens scored.
That was a little more conventional. They had a couple of dribblers and a line drive triple.
So they have batted around. Here's David Rodder. He singled and he scored in this inning. He was the second batter of the inning. All of this coming with 2 out. There's a swing and a line drive down the left field line, and that is a foul ball. 2-2.
Hit it hard, but foul.
I have 8 runs in the inning. The score is now 19-6. Clock is showing less than 10 minutes to play. And the Dallas Master Blasters are not through yet. There is a runner at third base. There's a fly ball hit to right center field. Catch is made. The inning is over, but a lot of damage done in that inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 runs score in the inning. And now as we go to the top of the 4th, we're in a run rule effectively. It is 19-6 in favor of the Dallas Master Blasters here on the Cloud Sports Network. Run rule is potential for this top of the 4th. If Phoenix does not score 3 or rather 4 runs, they need 4 runs to keep this game going. In gay softball, we have courtesies. One of them is if a team is trailing by 20 or more after 3 innings, the game is over. Or 2.5 if the team leading by 20 is the home team. After 4, it's 12. No, after 4 it's 15. After 5 it's 10. So I'm a little off in my innings. So there is no run rule in effect right now. I got a little excited because I don't think we've had too many run rules this week.
No. We certainly haven't seen one. We
have not.
Not even close.
Thank you.
Yeah, Field 6 has seen its share of incredible softball.
There's a discussion going on between the umpires and somebody from Phoenix. That just kills more time. Looks like we are inside of 8 minutes to play. And a long way to go for Phoenix. They at one time had a 2-0 lead after the top of the first. But at the bottom of the first, Dallas scored 7. Phoenix scored 4 in the top of the second. Dallas scored 4 as well. Phoenix did not score in the top of the third, and Dallas just scored 8. So they have a very comfortable 19-6 lead as we play here in the top of the fourth. It's the top of the order. Mike Naveau, the leadoff batter. In his last at-bat, he was intentionally walked. And the first pitch is high and away, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 is a little low, bounced on the plate, 3 balls and a strike. Three and 1 the count to Naveau. On deck is Bartlett. Behind him is Branham. And there's the strike called. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count pitch is outside.
Yeah, Phoenix in need of a big rally. 6 minutes remaining. Down big.
Sometimes they start with a hit, sometimes they start with a walk, but at least they start with something positive.
Yep.
Brian Bartlett, the batter. He has singled and scored. He takes the pitch off the plate for a ball. And the next one stays inside.
Might as well make him throw a strike.
3 and 1.
Way outside.
And that's outside. So, first 2 guys reach via a base on balls. And that'll bring up Len Branham.
Did you look like Mark was taken all the way there? 3-1 pitch.
It's what any good batter does. If he's not finding the strike zone, you don't swing.
Especially down 13.
I've never understood. I have absolutely never understood the concept of the batter coming up after a 3-pitch walk and swinging at the first pitch.
Especially when you have a foul to give.
Yeah.
First pitch was a ball. The second pitch is hit down the third baseline, backhanded by the third baseman. But he has no play. The pitcher was slow in getting over to cover. That's a fielder's choice, nobody out.
So that'll load him up.
And that'll bring to the plate Pat Mooney. He got called out on strikes his last at-bat. But not on this one. He hits a long 5 ball down the left field line. It is foul. It's 1 and 2. Well, Mark, you and Mark were right about that. I'm just noticing all the people that have come over to watch this game.
Yeah.
And we're just going to get more and more as we get into the later rounds.
The gallery is filling in. I'm wondering who's sitting in box 5.
I think
Us.
it's Beyonce.
We are. All right, Mooney with the bases loaded and nobody out. Looks for this offering. He swings and hits a ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop will take the easy play at third. They'll concede the run as Naveau scores. It is now 19-7. The out is made at third base, 6-5 if you're scoring. On the play, Branham takes second, and on the fielder's choice, Mooney is now the runner at first base. Bartlett goes back to the dugout. The batter is Alex Ochoa.
I love it. Laverne Cox was at the U.S. Tennis Open watching Serena.
Right.
And people were identifying her as Beyonce, and she absolutely ate it up. Loved it. Good for her.
And the first pitch, Ochoa hits a ball.
I didn't see. Did she win last night?
No,
She
she lost
did not
in
win
3
last
sets.
And that pitch is low.
Padres won, though.
Yeah, they did. They won big. 7-1, I think, was the final.
Who
Stop
did they
it.
beat? Why do you keep rubbing it in? Did they play the Rangers or somebody last
No,
night?
they
the Dodgers.
played the Dodgers.
The Dodgers. Oh, okay. There's a walk.
And Leslie is a big Dodgers fan, and she was ribbing me about it all day yesterday.
And now that we're within 18
Here is
games
Spires.
of you, we'll all
Sorry.
stop the ribbing.
Wow.
Oh, why's it got to be like that?
Am I going to have to separate you two? Spires has reached one time. The initial pitch to him is a strike called. Pounds the ball in the glove, waiting for Spires to step back into the batter's box. There's a line drive out into right field, and the batter is out. The ball is caught, but it's a sacrifice fly, and the other runner goes to third.
They
Len
got the
Branham-
runner tagging up at first, too. I think.
Did the run score before that? Did you see?
It looked like it did, but I don't think it's going to matter.
I don't think it will.
There's no time left.
There's about a minute left for the home team. They've got to get in and out.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Stranger things,
Well,
but it's a big ask.
We can at least credit them with the one run that they scored. It is 19 to at least 7. It could be 8. But I've seen no indication from the umpire that they allowed that second run to score. So, you know what? I feel charitable today, so I'm going to give them the run.
Well, I don't think it would have, because the tag up is a force play. So in the force play, that run wouldn't count. So I'm pretty sure that's why they didn't get it.
Well, then I'll give them that one again and take that out away.
Gave it to the wrong team again.
So we are now inside of that 1 minute mark to play. Dallas does not have to be in any
Still didn't get
particular
right.
hurry. The score is 19 to 7. She went the wrong way on the scoreboard. She took a run off, and now she put the run back, but she didn't add the run. It's 19 to 7. Tyler, 19 to 7. And the leadoff batter will be Paul Bland. Inside of half a minute, now they'll do another adjustment on the scoreboard. That'll kill a little more time. Let's see, did they give him 1 or 2? And I'm looking to see the score. They gave him 1. Roman was correct. 19 to 7, less than 15 seconds to play. And now we are inside of 10. And the pitch, this may be the only one in the inning to Paul Bland, is low for a ball. 1 second, and that is our game.
That's how it
In
works.
the Masters D division, the Dallas Master Blasters will remain alive. They defeat the Phoenix Vintage 19 to 7. Our next game coming up in just a little bit will be between the Knoxville Cyclones and the New York Pizza Rats as we return to a C division game. And the scene of a game that we saw between those two teams yesterday in one pitch 30-minute format, this will be a regulation game, 60 minutes, 7 innings. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of Roman Jimenez and Leslie McMurray, Rich Siegel saying stick around. We've got more softball action for you to come here on the Cloud Sports Network.